All right, welcome back to the #1 podcast of Journal Prompts and Deep Conversations. Today we are joined by Sir Ray once again. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's fun. Since the whole pandemic of this COVID-19 coronavirus, whatever you want to call it at this point, since it is going on, we might as well speak about it. So today's journal prompt is how to cope with the COVID-19 pandemic. Once again, it is how to cope with the COVID-19 pandemic. Take a minute, think about what you've been going through this past week or two, or even the month since you've actually heard about it, and then rejoin us in the conversation. And once again, before we get started with this podcast, before we actually dive deep into this journal prompt, wherever you're listening to at this point, if you're on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe. If you're on Apple, give us a rate so that this way more people can notice us, since all the algorithms help us out once you guys do all that fun stuff. So once again, like, share, subscribe with anybody that you want to share this with. Thank you again. All right, Sir Ray, thank you for coming on again.
You're very welcome.
So I know that you were of age, and this is why you wanted to do this.
Yeah.
So what was your, from the start of this, from when you heard the outbreak in China, what was your reaction?
I'll be honest with you. I had no reaction at all when it started in China. I kind of figured that eventually it's going to hit the United States. Because of the sheer amount of numbers. Mm-hmm. So I really wasn't panicking. I can't say I'm panicking now, because if I was panicking, I wouldn't be here.
That's true.
You are far more dangerous to me than I am to you.
Yeah.
Because I'm in that 60-plus age group.
Uh-huh.
But as this pandemic grows in it now, it's not really, while the overwhelming majority of early deaths are 60-plus, there are other people that are seriously getting sick now that are younger than that, because they already have underlying medical issues. Mm-hmm. Other than my blood clot, I don't know. I'm not aware of any other underlying medical issues since I've gotten healthier. So I can't really say that I had any panic feelings when it was going on. I just kept myself aware of it, and slowly. I started buying canned goods. I would not extravagant. Maybe a couple of things more than what I would normally buy. Mm-hmm. And stocking up. I won't even call it stocking up. Just buying my regular amount of water. Like if I bought one case, I'd buy another one.
Yeah, you just double.
Not panic buying. Mm-hmm. No, I did not run out and buy 1,000 rolls of toilet tissue.
I don't get that one.
I have no idea what that was about. Because it's not a pooping issue.
Yeah, it's really
a coughing issue. And in fact, one of these days I'm going to write a book called The Stop and Shop Chronicles, because of the amount of things that I do in Stop and Shop that flip people out. I was in Stop and Shop, and this was before the whole thing had started. Right, mm-hmm. There was just like some indications of toilet paper problems and that.
Yeah.
But Stop and Shop on
Amboy,
right, yeah, was filled, right? And there was this one person putting roll a roll of toilet paper in their basket. So I walked by and I said, "You do realize that this pandemic is not going to make you poop. It's going to make you cough a lot. If anything, you should be stocking up on paper towels."
It's true.
The person looked at me and I coughed, of course, and she It was so funny because she started backing away, and then she went to and when I saw her again in the aisle further down with the paper towels, she was like just putting paper towels in.
People are panic buying though.
I started panic buying in Stop and Shop. Yes.
It's weird because like I get it with food. Like food won't go bad.
Right.
Specifically, like all the canned goods and stuff like that. Like don't go out and buy all the vegetables in the
Right,
world.
right.
But get all the canned goods that you can, all the meat that you can.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned about the food buying because, the food buying I saw wasn't even. I mean, I can talk because I was there. All right, so let me get that out for your listeners and that. The crap that they're buying.
Oh, horrible.
We're talking about diabetes in a basket.
Yeah. You think when they said it'll affect your immune system, the people are gonna just stock up on frozen vegetables, meat, beans, nuts, and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's I mean, I get we all want comfort food, and this may be a time to have comfort food. I don't find that food any more comforting than I used to.
Yeah.
Because I don't eat it anymore. So yesterday I was in, I think it's called Family Fresh Fruit over by the highway.
Family Fresh Fruit.
Yeah, it's on Arthur Kill.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I walked by, and they had like thousands of like Twinkies and Devil Dogs, and don't get me wrong, that when I walk by that display and I stop, and I just like inhale. I know it sounds stupid but you have to understand that there was a point in my life that I lived off that stuff, and it's just weird now that I walk by and I smell it and I'm happy.
And you
I don't need to eat it anymore.
You don't go to buy it. You take in that smell and you're like, I feel a lot better without that smell.
I don't. Actually. I guess the smell is enough to trigger my olfactory, whatever it is, and, to get to like smell it again.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever it is, but I have no desire to buy it. And they were on sale. It was like $3 for $5. I mean, I could have stocked up like to the end of the world. And,
just like everybody else. Yeah, I mean the food thing is very interesting because I'm a person who likes to eat as healthy as possible, and when I went to every grocery store and there was not any organic meat left, I was like, this is weird, man. Nobody ever buys this shit. Like I feel like
now people are buying it because
well they're buying it because they probably ran out of the other meat
of the other meat, exactly.
But every health nut in Staten Island is also buying all that stuff. Exactly. But I still find it so funny that people are just buying so much paper towels and toilet paper. Like when I had to go pick up paper towels last week for DJ. And I went to Target, they didn't have anything. Then I went to Home Depot, they didn't have anything. Then I called Michael's, and Michael's had nothing. And then I went to Bed Bath & Beyond, and they're like, yeah, we got paper towels. And I was like, this is the last place that I'd ever think to have paper towels. Yeah. So I went in there.
That's good to know, actually. I never knew they sold paper towels either.
Yeah, and then I went in there, and they're like, oh, only 3 per person. And
I'm actually surprised that Home Depot too. That they were out.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, I knew that they sold it, but I would have never think that they were.
Yeah, they had like mini ones, but I was like, this is stupid to buy. Yeah. Like I'd rather go somewhere else.
Well, now it's really all until like things get semi back to normal with the supply chain and that.
Yeah.
It'll be the small stores that still have that stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure they're required at this point to have 3 months of food supply for everybody at this point.
Something like that.
Which is interesting because that's really tough to get all that shipment in every single day, basically. Like going through all the...
and I think it was, I don't know who it was. It was it wasn't Amazon. It was some other place where they're dying for help because the amount of shipments that are going out. Yeah, they don't have the personnel to drive the trucks or whatever.
Yeah, Amazon was hiring like 100,000 people.
Yeah, and the advertisement I saw, they said, come in, fill out an application, interview it on the spot, and you'll start that afternoon. Yeah, they weren't even doing background checks or anything like that.
Yeah, which is shocking. They are.
Yeah.
But I was thinking of doing that, but I was like, I feel like we're just gonna get shut down anyway, like really soon.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. In fact, I got an email from the Board of Ed this morning, wanting to know if I was interested in being one of the people at the schools for the first responders children.
What is that?
Because they shut down all the schools, right? And then you have all the cops, the firemen, medical personnel.
Yes.
They need a place for their kids to go because obviously you can't, leave, the little ones, you can't leave them home.
Yeah.
And they're opening up 80 centers throughout the city.
Wow, that's nice.
So I got an email this morning wanting to know if I was interested in applying because I was already aboard. So they already have my fingerprint. They know about me and that already.
That's interesting though that they would. But like, you shouldn't reach out to people who are older. You know what I'm saying?
I would tend to think, and that was the problem with that email, is that I don't know if it was just because I'm on the sub teacher list, because I only sub at my school now.
Yeah.
Or if they did that to everybody that's on the sub list. But most people on the sub list are going to be older anyway.
Mm-hmm. But it seems interesting that they would put a bunch of kids in a spot
with an older adult.
Yeah.
But you know what? And again, you're going to have people like me. First of all, I lived through I wasn't a pandemic, but I lived through the AIDS crisis in the 80s.
What's that?
The AIDS crisis was when AIDS was first diagnosed. I think it started like about 1980.
I thought you said age.
Oh, no, AIDS.
Okay. Yeah, you lived through that.
Yeah. And, I remember the panic with that people didn't want to touch things. There was a time, actually, and I was a scout leader at the time. Mm-hmm. And there was a time that we had our scout leader meetings down at the old Bailey Seton Hospital. Yeah. And there were actually designated bathrooms for people with AIDS. I mean, obviously, you would not have that today. Yeah. But that's the way it was back in the 1980s.
That's crazy. Imagine having to go to the bathroom and that's kind of embarrassing to have to go into that bathroom.
Yeah, and they were marked. I'm gonna say it was yellow. I don't know why yellow. Mm-hmm. That comes to mind that everything was done in yellow, or maybe it might have been orange. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of like the hazard.
Yeah, tape, so it must have been. It must have been something along that line. And it was known that these were the bathrooms that the AIDS patients were using, and this was the bathroom that I want to say normal, but the non-AIDS
the
people
non-AIDS.
Could use. And in the early days of the AIDS. I don't know if you can call it an epidemic or a pandemic, because it was worldwide. I don't know what they called it. Thinking about it, but they may not even use those words. I don't know. The one thing I remember about that is that when it first started, it didn't really concern anybody that was straight, because at the very beginning it was a gay person's disease, and
But then people didn't realize that,
right. And that's not to be offensive to anybody that's listening that's gay. That's just the way it was.
Yeah. But people are bi, so it's going to travel at some point.
At some point, it was going out into the mainstream people. I don't even want to say mainstream, into the straight population anyway. Yeah. And that's when it did become mainstream, was affecting everybody. Mm-hmm. And there was one lady, I don't remember her name, that she had caught it from blood transfusions, I believe, if memory serves. And she was straight. And when she got it, she was the catalyst that started people to realizing that this was just not something that was for gay men. Yeah. That anybody could get it. And that's when they shut down the blood transfusions for gays. If you were gay, you were not allowed to donate blood anymore. Which at the time made sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Obviously now they could do it.
Obviously now they can do it, yes. I think they can. I'm not sure about that. I know that they were pushing for it, but I don't know. I honestly don't know if they can, to be honest.
Wow.
And my one a vivid memory of mine that sticks out is because I was in college in the early days. And this was just a time when people were starting to get over the fact that you could be in a room with a gay person and not catch it. Yeah. You know? And there was a group of people that came in and they were giving a lecture on the AIDS and that. And there's one guy, this guy's name is Mike, still remember, could picture him in my mind's eye. He shook everybody's hand. And then after he shook everybody's hand, he said, you were just touched by a person with AIDS. And I remember, I was thinking to myself when I shook this guy's hand, I know he's going to come out and he's going to say he's gay. And I didn't want to shy away from shaking his hand. Mm-hmm. So I that was the day that I got over the fact that I'm not going to catch it from somebody that has it. Unless
Yeah.
unless the other.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember sitting there with my hand after he shook it, and then after he said it, my hand started itching. It started burning. I started rubbing it on my pants because all of that was psychological.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
psychological.
and
Yeah, even with this shit, like I like at night, my allergies have been killing
yeah,
me.
yeah,
I get a little stuffy nose, and I'm like, oh shit, here we
yeah.
go, here we go. Let's see what happens now.
It's not funny because the other night, I guess I really don't sleep with heat on,
Uh-huh.
but I must have forgotten to turn the heat off, and I woke up and my eyes were like dry. I was coughing, my throat was dry, and for some strange reason during the night I had chills, and I said, "Oh, this is it, I got it. What am I gonna do?" But then I felt fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
But
know
that
what you're
could have
talking-
been it.
But it could have been it, and I'll never know unless I go get tested.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's really strange because even my reaction, like when I asked you before with China, I didn't even think of anything because this shit happens all the time where it's like
Yeah.
something breaks out in another country,
Yeah.
and it's China, like they're like it's overpopulated
They
at
have
that
9
point.
billion people there. You know.
Yeah.
Well, it's not 9 billion, but
But like they have a
it's not
significant
far from it.
yeah, they have a significant amount of people. So when you're just observing like their culture
Yeah.
and stuff like
and they
that,
live very close together.
super close. I didn't think of anything of it at that point.
And they eat like things that we don't eat.
Yeah. But when I heard it was airborne, I was like, okay, so that's kind of a problem.
And now it's found that it can live on surfaces for up to 2 hours.
So like if I touch this,
Right, and I touch it. Yeah.
yeah. So that was my thing. I was like, all right. So at this point, when I heard that, I was like, all right, everyone's gonna get it at this point. There's no way that no one's not gonna get it.
Right.
Because even if it's 2 weeks after, say we go through the whole process like Italy, it's 2 weeks after. Somebody might still have it, and then they might be in contact with another person, and then they might pass away. Or if they're older, if they have a terrible immune system and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So it's interesting in that fact. But yeah, when I heard that, I was like, okay, like let's just brace for it. It's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah.
But do you think it's an overreaction of what's going on, or do you think it's kind of like
that's a good question. In the beginning, I thought this was a very big overreaction. Much to the way that we overreacted to the AIDS epidemic in the beginning. And going back, just not to change the subject, I want to recommend something to your listeners. There is a movie and a book called "And the Band Played On," and the book and the movie is based on the AIDS crisis in the 80s. Highly recommended. The movie is on Amazon Prime. If you have Prime membership, you can watch it for free. But that will give you a good background as to what's happening today. The way the people's fear, how science finally got on board. Because remember, since it was labeled a gays disease, nobody really cared about it. And the 80s were a time when gays were not really accepted. The lifestyle was still questionable.
Yeah, we weren't progressive at that point.
Yeah, we weren't progressive as we are today. I got to say though, is that the AIDS crisis is really, in my opinion, what galvanized the gay community. They banded together like nobody else. At the time, it was the 80s. I tend to be liberal when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I had several gay friends. One thing I remember is it's kind of like the funeral situation after 9/11. Every other day I was attending another funeral for either somebody I knew or, a lover of somebody that I knew or whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure it was just funeral after funeral.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
But anyway, what was your question again?
We were talking about the overreaction.
Okay, yeah. I think in the beginning it was an overreaction. I think maybe still it is a bit of an overreaction. I can understand keeping the social distance thing. Closing the schools was probably a good idea because the teachers, the kids would have been fine. The problem would come when you have teachers.
Yeah, the teachers who are older.
Obviously, this is for whatever reason, it's still an older person's problem. especially, or I should say, even those that are not healthy.
Yeah.
You know,
The immune system,
the
basically.
immune system compromised. So yeah, but you know what? Teachers also probably have one of the strongest immunities there are.
Yeah,
because
because
they
they're
are around
around.
kids all day long.
Yeah, the kids are always getting
Yeah.
sick. It's
Yeah.
crazy how I always think of that too, because teachers are going all the time, and they, like, even my sister, my mom, and my sister's boyfriend, they're all in the school system.
Yeah.
And you know they're around kids who have a crazy amount of
Yeah,
germs,
yeah.
who put their hands wherever they
want, you know.
and you know they come home and they're fine all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So it's very.
I mean, I gotta
interesting.
say, I think that the fact that I was a teacher helped me develop a strong immune system. Knock wood.
Yeah. And
Hopefully, it stays that way.
just being in the school, like
Yeah, just
even as a
being-
kid,
yeah.
you know, just being around
Yeah.
people all the time, it just
You're
helps
around
you.
thousands of people a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I honestly think like at first, with this whole pandemic thing going on, it was kind of like an underreaction where like once it first broke out, like everyone was like, oh, it's in China.
Yeah.
Who cares? But like once it started becoming airborne, then they were like, oh my God, we have no idea what this is. Let's start
I think
freaking
that
out.
once we saw Italy, which is a westernized country, I mean, there's not that much difference between the United States and Italy. I mean, other than language and culture a little bit. I think that is what shocked people.
Yeah.
That here was a westernized country that is now worse off than China.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a little. That's when I got a little scared. I was like, oh shit, all of these people are getting the coronavirus.
Yeah.
But then again, then you look at the amount of deaths to the amount of people that have it, and you're like, okay, so it's not. It's still concerning, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And then you don't know who the deaths are though.
Right. Yeah.
That's
I
the problem.
think I figured out yesterday. Depending upon the statistic and where you look at, it goes from 4% to 7%. You know?
Okay.
And the 4% is kind of like, I think it's just around the ballpark figure of the Spanish flu back in 1918. I'm not that old, so I can't comment on the Spanish flu.
That would be crazy if you
That'd
were.
be crazy if I could, right? 3 pandemics. Yay. Go me.
3 pandemics in a lifetime. That's rough.
I can only talk about 2. Thank God. Hopefully hopefully no more. I think it's less of a overreaction now.
Yeah.
But again, you know, I'm not overly worried about it. I don't go to bed at night worrying about it.
Yeah.
It does cross my mind every once in a while when I put on the news. I kind of like stop watching it.
Because that's all they talk about,
That's
right?
all they're talking about now.
I don't know. I feel like this whole thing is kind of like if the common cold was just released into the world without any of us having it,
Right.
it would be the same exact thing.
Exact thing. Right.
That's the whole problem with this issue. Like, yeah, if you have a bad immune system, obviously something
you're gonna get sick.
Yeah, we don't have a vaccine for it. You're gonna get sick and you're gonna be very ill at some point. Yeah. But if you just realize that it's just another, if it's something along the lines, like people are comparing it to the flu of how many deaths and stuff like that.
Right.
Obviously, if we have these many people getting infected and only this amount of percentage, 4 to 7% of people dying from a new type of thing, like then we're fine. Like it's not a problem. Yeah. Everyone just has to get it though. That's the thing.
Right. That's the thing. And if you get it, do you build up the immunity to it?
Yeah, that's
that they don't know yet.
Mm-hmm. I think we will.
I think we will too. It's like everything else that happens to our body. Mm-hmm. I've never gotten a flu shot in my life.
I haven't got a flu shot in years.
Yeah. And even though it's recommended that I do because I'm older, I still don't. I can't say that I really get sick. If I get sick, it's because of something I ate.
Yeah.
Which is good because it kicks off the weight loss thing again. Which I have no objection to. Because it's weird because when that happens to me and I lose that weight, I never gain it back. Because I say, that's a nice number, and I cut down even more on what I ate. So it's all good in that sense. But would I get, if they develop a vaccine for this, would I take it? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would. This might be the kicker for me starting to get a flu shot every year.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if you get the flu shot once, you're fine.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. Like
they have a new one every year.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's the same thing all the time that you're getting put into your body. So if you get it for a few years in a row,
it should be right.
It should be fine. It's like, oh, I didn't get a cold for 3 years. Yeah. Now I got it. Yeah. My body's reacting to it fine. To it, yeah. Like I got a little stuffy nose right now, but hey, I'm gonna get past it.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. This might be the thing that makes me get a flu shot every once in a while now, but I haven't decided that. I'll decide that.
I think once every few years it would be fine.
Yeah.
Just because, even if they start putting stuff in the flu shot that is connected to the coronavirus,
right?
If there is another outbreak or epidemic, you're gonna be fine at that point, or at least have a little help. You you want to always be prepared.
It's weird that I forget who it was that said you could expect like a virus infestation or a pandemic, whatever you want to call it, like once every 100 years. And it's actually been like about 100 years since the Spanish flu.
Yeah, it's been something in 1820.
Yeah.
Then the Spanish flu in 1918, and then now. Which is very weird.
Is this Mother Nature's way of thinning the herd, or what?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was listening to a scientist talk about that, and it was like, I think my sister showed me something that they were just speaking about how when you're in this situation, it happens to animals all the time. Mm-hmm. When they're overpopulated, something happens to wipe them out. Wipe them out a little bit.
To the point that
they need to be. Yeah. And, you don't see it that much anymore because we're controlling the population of animals with hunting.
Right.
But we don't see it as humans.
We don't see it as humans anymore.
So that's...
It'll be interesting when the testing becomes fully available. And I believe today opened up the drive-through testing at
CVS?
At Seaview Hospital.
Oh.
Or the psych center behind it.
Okay.
But you still need an appointment.
Uh-huh.
I think that, as with anything else, it has to be those people that have that for whatever reason nature granted them an immunity.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to find those people.
Yeah.
Hunt them down.
Hunt them down.
But apparently, and it's funny because it's not funny. Well, I think it's funny, so I apologize to sensitive viewers. I've been watching all the disease movies, Contagion, Pandemic, which is not that great. Don't even bother with it. What was the other one? Outbreak. That I can't believe Outbreak is like 25 years old already. I mean, I remember I saw that and I said, "This is how the world's going to end." And hopefully not in my lifetime. Here we are.
There we are.
But yeah, and like I said, you're more of a danger to me than I am to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here.
Yeah.
So. It doesn't,
it's weird because I was talking to John about this yesterday when we were filming all the videos and stuff, and he said, "Hey, Nick, do you know anybody who has it?" And we both were like, "No." And he's like, "You're getting my point at this point? Like, nobody knows." He's been asking people since the start of this. Like, since we were really put in like when the NBA got suspended and stuff like that.
Right. Yes.
That's when you start really asking people do you know anybody? Yeah. Do you hear anything about anybody getting sick? And he talked to everybody who walks in and out of the gym, and he's like, I haven't heard one person yet that has heard of anybody who's sick at this point.
Well, I can tell you that you know somebody now that knows somebody that got sick.
Oh, you know somebody.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was great, well, not great that they got sick, but it was great that I have two nephews. They're my non-biological nephews, and their mother and father are just really good friends with me.
Okay.
Their mother and father was supposed to go to a St. Patrick's Day party after the Staten Island parade.
Okay.
And they didn't go. And it just so happened that one person at that party had it without knowing what it was.
Yeah.
And that whole party is sick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. So the whole party,
there was like 16 people at the party and they all got it.
And they're all sick?
They're all sick and they're all different ages except for two that are really old.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about this because they said that we're like 2 weeks behind Italy at this point.
Right, yeah.
So if you think about it, like if we're 2 weeks behind, that was the beginning of this, or no, it was like a week and a
They're
half ago.
saying as of Monday, we're 2 weeks behind.
Yeah, so Monday we should be hit kind of hard with everybody getting sick. So, like, I can't judge it now. I can only judge it by next Friday, basically, seeing how everything plays out.
When we see what happens this coming week, that's going to be, you know.
Yeah, that's mainly what it's going to be.
Now, can we really believe that what they're saying out of China, that nobody's gotten it in Wuhan, where it started at, that they've had 0 cases of it?
There's 0 in there?
That's what they said.
Where it started.
But
How?
Can you really believe that? Or are they just lying about their numbers? Because they are a closed society. They are communists. So they control the media and that. So
yeah. I cannot believe that for 1 second.
Yeah,
There has to be.
There
was, like, when the news first broke out, it was like 25,000 people infected.
Yeah.
But, like, once again, you brought up a great point. It's a communist country. Like, how do we know any of these numbers?
Any of those numbers are real.
Yeah, wow. I never thought of that.
I mean, for that, and that's not to even, like, say that we're even better, but because how do we know that the numbers that we're giving out are real?
Yeah. But, yeah, well, like you said, it's a communist country, so at least here we could question it, and we won't get...
And eventually there'll be somebody out there that does release the real information.
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem to be happening, so... I don't know.
Yeah, like, I don't get it. All these professional players are getting screened and stuff like that, but us, like... There's not one human being that I know that was like, oh, yeah, I got it, or I don't have it. Like, I went to go get tested.
Right.
Because you're going to have to pay probably a lot of money to go get tested.
Well, no, apparently now Trump signed a bill where testing is free.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, that had to happen anyway.
Yeah.
There was no way, because then it becomes a rich man's game.
Yeah, you realize how slow our process is for passing bills with this whole thing going on, because people are like, I don't get it, why don't we shut that down, why don't we just shut everything down? And you're like, well, you got to wait until Congress passes it. They have to write the whole bill out. They have to make sure
and you got to make sure, and the other party has to make sure that the other party didn't slip anything in there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and then also like all the people in the world, they have jobs. So you have to make sure, like, with business owners, they're getting fucked over right now.
Oh, the restaurant business and the entertainment business is over. They're done, at least for the next 2 weeks. And I'll be honest with you, I think it's going to last a lot longer than 2 weeks.
I think so, too. I think hopefully we don't shut down where we're just locked inside.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to happen at some point.
Well, de Blasio was talking about that. Cuomo said no. Mm-hmm. But I don't be surprised. If numbers go the way that they say they might, based on Italy, that'll happen.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with California. With certain counties, they're shutting everything down.
They're not allowed to leave the house.
Yeah, and I think at first it was just the older people. I don't know if they changed it yet.
Yeah.
But I know that it's like...
The first thing was recommendations for anybody 60 and older to stay in.
Yeah. And then now it's like, if you're 60 and older and you're out, like, we're... bringing you right back to your house and you're staying there.
Yeah. But you're going to get to your 60-year-olds that are like me, that
you're fine.
Not they don't care. It's just that the government's not going to tell me what I can or what I cannot do.
Yeah, you can't control me.
Yeah.
You can only suggest.
We're the rebel part of the baby generation.
the rebel baby boomer.
No, but who's to know, though? I mean, you won't know until you get tested whether you have it, or build them, or you're immune to it.
Yeah.
That's
the thing. Like I'm not gonna stop my life. You know.
I mean, I'll stop my life to the point that the only thing that I'm really missing out on is the gym now.
Yeah.
That's because I know it sounds like pathetic. I don't know. I don't think it sounds pathetic.
Not at all.
But that was my life.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my social activity, my getting out of the house. For everybody that wants to know, I'm retired.
Yeah.
So. Other than traveling, all the traveling I've done, they've already came. And the weird part of it is that I was aiming for China at the end of the year.
Wow.
And that's off the table.
Wait a few years.
Now I'm not sure I want to go at all.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, the only thing I want to do is walk on the Great Wall. I do that and I'm fine. Helicopter me in, drop me. Let me do my little thing, pick me up.
Fly all the way to China, drop me at the Great Wall,
it's really
and then pick me up and go.
I'm good. But yeah,
Yeah, it sucks. Like, I'm obviously for me, like that's my job, my income right now and stuff like that. So with all this momentum I was building with my classes, like I was finally getting a good amount of people. And then of course this thing had to happen.
But you want to know something? I think it'll be. It's not going to be as difficult once we start up again.
I think you're right.
If anything, I think that's going to take off.
I think so too.
Because people are going to realize, and hopefully this is going to change this whole. Now I can speak from experience, for this fat acceptance thing and is healthy at every size. That's all bullshit. There is no such thing as being healthy at every size. I was at every size, so I know what I'm talking about. I challenge these people like Tess Holliday. And there's other women that are the faces of the fat acceptance. They're full of shit.
Yeah,
100%.
It's not fun being that weight.
No,
especially it's embarrassing sometimes.
Yeah.
Even when I think about this sometimes, going in and out of places. If it's tight, sometimes when a person is overweight,
you're either pushing yourself through or you're lifting up your flab on your belly to get over the turnstile. And it's funny that you said that it was embarrassing, because my most embarrassing thing that kind of really started me on this was not being able to get on some of the rides at Universal. Mm-hmm. Because the bar would come down and it would just be too tight and I couldn't fit.
Yeah, and then you would have to get to isn't there the overweight one?
There are, but at the time they didn't have those things. They were all regular seats.
Yeah. And
now because of the health, I guess that's one good thing they did. I don't know. Yeah, and it was just embarrassing being told, listen, you can't ride.
Yeah, it sucks. And then everyone sees you walking off and walking out of the line.
Walking out, and they all know why.
Yeah. That sucks, yeah. When everyone knows why, you're like, shit, that guy's got to lose some weight.
Yeah, but just to put it in context, I went to Universal in, was it April this year? When did I go? Might have been March or April. Well, whatever month it was this year, and I got on every single ride.
That's nice.
With no
problem. That's fucking awesome.
So that's fucking great.
It's awesome, feeling you could feel the excitement, the happiness that comes from you when you say that. Because I know you show me pictures and going on rides, going to Disney and stuff like that, it means a lot to you. So just being able to do the things that you've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
It's the challenge within that challenge, basically.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it's cool.
And now I don't even think about going. I'm not even worried about going on anything anymore.
Yeah, now you're just all right, I got it.
Let's go.
Yeah, I still got this little belly here, but hey.
But hey, it's all right.
It's fine.
It's a hell of a lot smaller than it used to be.
Yeah. Now I feel bad for Rob, because he's going into competition. And it's his first one. Yeah. And he was going hard with it, making sure he was eating every day. And now, it sucks.
Did they postpone that for him?
I'm sure. Once they close the gyms, how are you supposed to train anymore? Obviously, most people who are in that industry, who are older, they have their own gyms in their house and stuff like that. Right. They could do everything. Yeah. But people who are just starting out...
Yeah, he's young. Was he 19? I think he's younger than you are.
Yeah, he's 2 years younger than me. So he's turning 19, I'm pretty sure. And that sucks for him, because now he's
built. I mean, he's a built little dynamo,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. His body is crazy. It's just straight up like literally a bodybuilder's body, just a little tiny smaller. Yeah. And he's so young. It's so weird. But he said he started working out when he was freshman in high school, and he was consistent.
You could be the next Michael Hearn.
I don't know who Michael Hearn is.
Oh my God! And you're in the fitness industry? How dare you?
There's millions of people.
He claims to be natural, but I don't know.
Yeah, they all claim to be natural.
I'm natural, by the way. Although I'm willing to take steroids, I just haven't found the person to sell them to.
You might as well take some steroids.
At this point, what are they going to do?
Yeah, who's going to judge you?
Who's going to judge me?
Oh, wow. You see that guy over there? He's in his 60s taking steroids. He's not natural. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
I can't trust that guy
no,
with his
word.
Not. Wait, how are you working on your YouTube channel and stuff?
Yes. Yeah, I'm still working on that. It's coming along. Yeah. Now that I started painting and that, I kind of put it on the wayside because all my lights and that are like shoved in a corner right now.
And you can't even get to a gym at this point.
And I can't even get to a gym at this point.
So it's even if you wanted to record something to even just add into the video. Yeah. But what are you painting?
Everything.
Everything in your house?
Everything.
That's
you
dope.
know, I'm going through all because I was a teacher and I'm going through all the old school stuff.
Yeah.
So anything that I don't need, now I have to look at it again because to make sure there's nothing in it that I want.
Yeah.
Throw it out. It's like I'm sure the garbage men are wondering what the hell is this guy doing? what is all this stuff that this guy's getting rid of?
What is this guy going through right now?
I mean, I had test tubes at home. I had some science equipment. They're probably thinking I'm cooking up something. I maybe get rated for being a meth lab. I don't know.
The next Breaking Bad right here. So what do you think's gonna happen within like these next 2 weeks?
Okay, so here's my prediction. I think that the number's going to continue to go up. I think that this closure until to the end of the month is not going to happen. It's going to go longer.
Like, what do you predict? Like April?
I'm going to say mid-April, if not the end of April.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah. And then I think in May things will start slowly reopening and getting back to normal. So I'm going to give it 2 months. But that's assuming that they can find something. More information about it. I don't think that there's going to be a run on the banks. I don't think there's going to be a run on food. And just to let everybody know, this is 10 years of watching The Walking Dead. I know how to shop. I know what to do. I know where people hide their stuff. So
Ray's coming at you. You think he was only cooking up science experiments?
Right. There you go.
I'm just very interested to see what happens with all these businesses. Because, like, I'm just talking to John about everything. He's like, I'm a little worried, but then there's also a part of me that's like, how are they going to charge me for stuff when I can't even open up? Yeah, like, how am I supposed to make money?
And I know that there was something, too, in the bill that was passed. Or it might be the third bill that's going through now.
Like small businesses and stuff?
They're not allowed to evict anybody or foreclose on anybody during the pandemic. And then for like whatever the amount of time was that they shut everything down, that gets added on to the year or whatever, something like that. I have full faith that the government's going to take it. It's not like it's 1918 where nobody cared or nobody thought about that stuff. Yeah. They're all thinking about it.
I think you said it perfectly. I think it's going to be totally fine with businesses and stuff like that.
It's going to be, it's not to diminish the hardship. It's going to be hard.
Yeah. No, it's definitely going to be hard. It sucks because, like, if you were a business, like, people who just opened up a business.
I know. Just within the past 6 months or something like that. I mean, dude. You know who I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Sal's Bakery.
Yeah. Right next to shit. I didn't even think of that.
He just opened up.
And all that food's going bad.
3 weeks ago?
Yeah. That food's going bad. He can't hold on to it.
Yeah, he can't hold on to that.
Damn, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, and he just opened up.
And he was doing pretty well so far.
He's good.
Yeah,
well, by the way, I'm not, employed by Sal's Bakery in any way, but Sal's Bakery on Richmond Valley Road, good stuff.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah.
And now I can't until after this whole thing.
Although I think they're open.
They're open?
He's still posting on Instagram.
That is true. Yeah, food places still are. I don't know. It's tricky now because like only a certain amount of people are allowed in.
Well,
right?
He wouldn't be allowed. Right. He probably has to limit the number of customers that are in the store, and I'm sure he took away the seating area that he has.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I may stop over there today, actually.
Yeah. You're like, I might as well. You know
what? I haven't been there for 2 Thursdays, and every Thursday I allow myself, a pastry from there. So that means this is my 3rd Thursday. So I'm allowed 3 pastries.
Take a ride over.
Maybe I could just get a cake.
That's true. Yeah, but what's going on? Wait, what is going on with restaurants? They're like kind of shutting down.
They're shut down. You're not allowed to congregate in restaurants anymore. But you can order and take out.
Okay. Which is, it's okay.
Something.
Yeah, it's
but
something.
Then again, do you really want to take food from a restaurant from people that you don't know?
Yeah. I don't want to go to a restaurant and. Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't care at this point. Like, I know I'm infected.
Yeah.
Somebody home? Oh, my mom's home. I'll cut this part out. Yo, Ma!
Hey, who's here?
I'm doing a podcast with Ray.
How are you?
Ray.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
All
okay.
good. I didn't know you were coming home right now. You had a half day?
I got out early.
Nice, cool, good for you. We're finishing up. We got like,
Sorry, guys.
yeah, no problem. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, because I guess they sent them home early, maybe, because my mom's a Paris, so like, what is she doing? She's just chilling.
Yeah, they're right. Yeah, because they're doing all the
Like she helps out in the classroom,
Yeah.
but she's not a
but
teacher.
they're training the teachers to go to teach remotely.
Yeah,
next
today
week.
was the last day.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're training the teachers to teach. I was actually talking to, I trained 2 10-year-old kids right next door to me, and they actually have to do online learning too.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, they're in 4th grade? No, 5th grade? I'm not sure. Yeah, I think 5th grade. And, wow, that kind of sucks if they're actually in 5th grade. They lost their whole rest of their senior year.
Well, even those that are in 12th grade.
Yeah, damn,
No.
no problem.
There may not be a prom. There may not be. I'm gonna venture out and say that there's not gonna be a prom.
I don't think so. I don't think they could do that.
There's not gonna be a graduation unless they hold it outside.
I wish I didn't have a graduation.
Yeah, I didn't go to mine, so then.
What, your high school graduation?
Yeah, couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, I was not into that. I was so bored. I was like, this is so stupid. Honestly, it went quicker than I expected.
Yeah.
Usually it's like 3 hours, but now it was like they ended in like 2.5 hours. It was really funny. My sister got a video of me. So with Tottenville, they call your name, you stand up, you turn around, you look at everybody behind you because it's on the football field,
Right.
and then you turn back around to the speaker, and you have to stand. So what I did, I stood up, I turned around, I gave a wave, and I sat back down. And everyone was like, yo, Nick, you gotta stand up. And I'm like, I just fucking graduated. Like,
what are they gonna do?
What are they gonna do? Take my diploma away?
Yeah.
I don't even get a diploma right now.
Yeah.
We don't even go up on stage.
I was given a choice of. It wasn't really a choice. My parents left it up to me.
Okay.
And it was interesting that they did that because neither one of my parents graduated high school.
Oh, so you're the first one.
Yeah, because and actually my 2 brothers didn't graduate high school.
Would you think
My
they
2
would force you?
Would you would think that they would force me to do it, but just to let you know, because in the other podcast I said why nobody in my family graduated high school. They all went off to war. My parents in World War II, my brothers in Vietnam. I haven't served in a war, not because I didn't want to, but because of my eyes. Anyway, I'm actually surprised that my parents didn't force me to go to graduation. Because like I said, they didn't. But they gave me the choice. We could wait for your graduation, or we'll spend 2 weeks down in Florida. And naturally, I chose Florida.
Yeah, I would choose Florida.
And there started my love affair with Disney World.
Well, I mean, for them, their perspective probably was like, all right, he's graduating.
He's done it. He's done what nobody else has done.
He's done.
To me, that was more of a celebration than me going to graduation.
Yeah, they were like, hey, let's have fun with this instead of sitting at a ceremony for a few hours and wanting to shoot our brains out. Like, now we're gonna go out to eat and do what everyone else does.
When I told them I wasn't getting my diploma anyway, they said, so why bother? Yeah. That was my dad. So what are we gonna sit there for?
Yeah, exactly.
I said to see me walk across the stage.
Yeah, I was telling my parents that too. I was like, do I really have to go? Like, I could just hang out here.
I didn't even go to my first college graduation.
You did it?
By that time, my parents had passed on. And I didn't go. What am I gonna do? What about for what?
Yeah.
But I did go to my master's.
That's smart.
That I did go to because to me that was a big deal.
Yeah, that was like the only one where
that was the only one that really mattered. That I felt very accomplished.
Yeah, in your life you were like, oh wow, I actually worked really hard for this. The other ones I bullshitted through, but this was tough actually because you had to work during that time, right?
Yeah. I was working and going to school. Shit was hard.
Yeah, that's fucking hard.
And I think that eventually when I get my PhD, I'll go to that one too.
Yeah. Oh, you're still going? Still chugging along.
Still chugging along with that.
As it happens when you're retired.
It's one class at a time. If I get it, I get it. I'm not.
Yeah.
Do I want it? Yes. Is it going to make me any more
different?
No,
not at all.
Yeah. Instead of being an adjunct professor, I'll be a professor. Big deal.
Yeah.
To me, it's not. But I do want it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that I don't want it.
I feel you.
And I'm not working hard for it. I am working hard for it.
Yeah. I mean, that's honestly like. I always thought about that, taking like one class at a time and stuff like that. But I'm already done with all of like my gen eds and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm
you
like,
told you that you should be doing one class at a time.
yeah, just to keep you going.
Yeah, just to keep your mind in the game.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I do a lot of other stuff too. So like,
Yeah.
I'm always like, if I knew that I wasn't doing anything, because everything that I do, I personally make myself do it. Like, I
And
don't,
really, today it's a little bit different than when I was in school.
yeah,
You could do all your stuff online.
yeah, that's what's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been getting into stocks. I've been obviously doing the podcast too. Trying to get more interesting on Instagram. Still hate it.
Yeah.
Still fucking want to just shoot myself every time I have to go on there. But I'm trying my best.
No, your videos are good though on Instagram. I like those.
Yeah, I try.
You don't
my
do
best.
those. You don't do those really those workout ones anymore though.
Which ones?
When you were working out down here, I guess they were good.
Which ones? I don't know. That was so long ago.
Yeah, I know. You were doing a headstand one.
Oh, the challenges.
And then you would.
Yeah.
Were you doing a lifting one too? Or was that
I
something
did.
else?
I did the Murph challenge.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yes. Yeah.
And well, that was the thing. Like my process of elimination with getting the next challenge was like, all right, like I know I'll be able to work out. Like I know I'll be able to push myself every day.
Right.
But stretching, that shit is something that I dread every day.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
So that's why
I know that's something that I'm supposed to be doing too, but
it's so
I do
boring.
minimal.
Yeah, I do the least amount possible.
Yeah.
And get myself the
Just
best
to get the
results.
blood flowing and
Yeah.
okay, let's move on.
Exactly. Yeah. So hopefully these next 2 weeks, we see something cool, we see something positive.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because I'm I turned 21 mid-April, so I was hoping to go out,
That's a big birthday, 20.
but now I'm kind
you
of
can finally do legally all the things you've already been doing anyway.
exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. I was telling everybody, I was like, yeah, like I hate going to bars right now because my fake ID says I'm 25. Like I don't look 25, so like I'm excited to just go in and be like, here's my ID.
That's right. Yep.
Don't even look at me. I'm fine. And let's just go.
I remember back in the, speaking of fake IDs, back in the 70s,
Yeah, wasn't it just a piece of paper?
with my older brother, we went to Times Square in one of the arcade shops,
Yeah.
and they took your picture and they put it on a fake ID that made you then and just gave a random birthday in a year, and I got into everywhere. I was in a Playboy club at 16 because my ID said I was 27.
That's sick. And like nobody.
But I
can
also had a
question you.
beard back then too.
That's
you
what
know?
helps. Yeah.
I had a beard
I was
on.
just about to ask you if
Yeah.
you had your beard.
This
at that
beard's
point.
been on my. Speaking of beards, CDC said I should shave it.
Who?
The CDC, the Centers for Disease Control.
Oh yeah.
So recommending that all men shave their beards.
Ah, you can't do that.
I'm not doing this. Beard defines me.
Yeah, you gotta risk your life for that.
Exactly. I mean, if anything, the germs will stick in my beard. I just can't touch my beard and touch my face.
Beard. Yeah, at that point, you just leave it alone. Only the zipper will touch
Only
it.
the zipper will touch it, and even then, I go like that.
Yeah,
To pull out my
exactly.
zipper, because believe me, it got stuck one time, and it was not easy getting it out.
Yeah, no, that probably sucks.
Yeah.
The only thing that's bad about that beard. Yeah, but yeah.
Plus eating barbecue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gets-
anything that could drip
Anything
down.
that could drip down or flake down.
Yeah.
Usually have to, as soon as I finish eating, I go check my beard and make sure there's nothing in it.
I go into the bathroom. People are usually checking around their lips and
No,
everything.
I'm checking my beard.
Yeah, you got a flashlight
Are we
going
good? No,
in
yeah, we're
between
good,
your
okay.
beard. That's great. Yeah, so yeah, I think like how you said it, by the end of April,
Yeah.
beginning of May.
Just my only recommendation to everybody that's listening out there, it's you take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
Someday, it will be over.
Oh yeah.
As long as there's nobody dropping dead in the streets, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
If that happens,
Then we'll be a little panic.
then start watching The Walking Dead and know what you have to do.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think once we start seeing people really croak out,
Yeah.
that's when you're like, okay.
That's when you can start panicking.
Yeah, but for right now, just live your life, enjoy it. We have no knowledge about it. I'm hearing a lot of professional doctors that are like, hey man, like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
I forgot what happened. years ago, right? There was some outbreak in the 2000s, like
Well, it was there was the SARS.
yeah.
There was the H1N1.
Yeah, I think the H1N1.
There was the MERS, the Middle East Respiratory.
This doctor went on. They were like, "Hey, we want to have you on because the last time we had you on right before this outbreak, and since you're a doctor, you got it and
Right.
stuff like that."
Yeah.
And he went back onto the show, and he's like, "Hey, like I wouldn't be here right now if I thought this thing was that crazy.
Right.
Like this is not as bad. Like the coronavirus, not that many people are dying, but that last one, I almost croaked out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just do what you're doing.
Yeah.
And
and since I fit into that demographic, I'm not worried about it. I mean,
yeah. Hopefully this is a blessing in disguise with these type of outbreaks and stuff like that. With these epidemics, like we never know when they're coming. So hopefully all these pharmaceutical companies start investing a little bit more money and time into these vaccines that, you know, maybe they're never going to be used, but they're already tested and they're all ready to go.
Right.
Just in case,
Yeah.
like, hey, like we're about to make a bunch of these at the
Yeah.
hospital. Come through, get your shot, and then go home, rest up for a little bit, see how you feel. And if you have any crazy reactions, come back.
Right.
But yeah, hopefully, because that's what one other doctor was saying. Like, we could have had something, even if it was 25 to 50% of what it could do to help us.
Right.
That's still
still something.
still a little something.
And just to add on to that, hopefully people will realize that now is the time to get healthy.
Yeah.
Now is the time to really rethink
How you're living.
how you're living,
Yeah.
and what kind of stuff you're putting into your body.
It's true, because you're literally just dying if you have a bad immune system and if you don't take care of
And
your
you
body.
don't take care of yourself.
You know, like the bad immune system, sometimes you have these underlying conditions. You can't do anything about it. But once you get to this point where you're making them from your bad habits,
Right.
that's where you're like,
Because
all right.
I just went to get my baseline levels in case I do catch something, and they checked the amount of oxygen in your blood, and mine was at 100%.
That's perfect.
And he had to take it twice to make sure that was. And I said, because nobody in your age group has ever scored that he's seen that has 100.
That's crazy, because 20 years ago you had
Yeah,
had
20
like,
years ago I would have had like 20% or something
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, so knock wood. Thank you, God. So that's it.
Yeah. Well, Sir Ray, thank you for coming on.
Always.
It was enjoyable.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, next epidemic, I'll have you on right
Next
away.
epidemic, I'll be here.
Your third one.
My third one.
All right, it's been real. Once again, guys, like I said in the beginning, wherever you're watching this from, if you're watching it from iTunes, YouTube, give us a like, give us a rate, give us a subscribe, whatever you could do to help out this community right now. I want to have deeper conversations, make people think a little bit more, and get an outreach to everybody who would enjoy these conversations. So once again, try to help your boy out. It will be a lot of thanks to you guys. You guys are the reasons why I am doing this right now. So have a great day and stay safe with this coronavirus.